Hi, so this is a video that I've been meaning to make for a little while now, and it's a very serious subject, and we're going to try to get through it with grace and try not to start crying, but if I do, it's understandable, right? My life after miscarriage. My miscarriage happened on April 18th, 2016. So in some ways it hasn't been that long, in other ways it feels like it's been a really long time. It seemed like it happened ages ago. But when I think about it too much and I start to get sad, then I feel like it happened just yesterday. I'm not going to rehash the events of that day. If you want to hear a little bit about that, I will link my other video below, which is titled Why I Failed Vita. But I don't know why you'd want to hear that, but just if you're curious what happened, then you can watch that video. All I really want to say is that this has all been kind of a learning process for me. I'm still very sad that it happened. I'm still hurting inside. I still miss the baby, and I still think about it. Like every day it comes to my mind at least once. Some days are heavier than others, heavier thoughts. Other days are just a passing thought, like, oh yeah, that happened, and then I move on. So now it's like I can talk about it now without crying, but if I talk about it too much, I can still break down. The last time I broke down was probably about 4 weeks ago. So it was a while back, but fortunately, I haven't broken down since then, and I hope that I don't. But if I do, I'm just going to let myself and accept it and move on. So, basically, I've just been trying to keep myself busy, trying to look for work, which has not been successful, but that's neither here nor there right now, and trying to do creative things, pour myself into things that I enjoy doing. I was working out for a while, but that went by the wayside because I got really busy, and so I'm going to start working out again. But I've been doing creative things, and I'm just feeling like that's my healing and my therapy once again. So that feels really good to do. So I just want to give a little bit of comfort to those who have gone through it, or advice, especially for those who this was your first time being pregnant. This was my first time, so I don't know a lot, but I've been told, both by doctors and friends, that number one, the doctor said, your body knew that there was something wrong with the baby, and that it would have been something worse if it continued to try to develop. And so therefore it was good that you didn't have it. And at the moment, that doesn't sound very comforting when it happens to you. It's like, oh, I don't care, this is my baby. What are you telling me this? But when you can stand back a few weeks and reflect on that, then you can kind of understand, yeah, that sounds very logical, and I'm really glad that my body told me what to do, or my body took care of it so that I wouldn't have to deal with worse problems. Also, I had a friend tell me that when you are pregnant for the first time, your body is feeling something very foreign. It's not used to this thing happening and all these changes, so your body can automatically reject that and just get rid of it. And that actually made me feel a lot better. I don't know why, but it did. And it's just kind of comforting. I don't know why, but those are the two things that I learned. And I'm also learning that it is a lot more common than we think it is. And there's a lot of people out there that just don't talk about it. So therefore, they don't talk about it, so nobody knows what's going on with them. And so you feel like you're alone, but in reality, there's a lot of women out there who've gone through it and they can relate to you and you can talk with them. So I've been finding that a lot from friends at church, and it's kind of comforting in a way, in the fact that you do have people who understand your feelings. It's not comforting for the fact that you hate that they went through it too. It's heartbreaking, but at the same time, it feels like, well, I'm not alone. It's good to know that somebody else understands. So, a few things that may happen with people after your miscarriage is either people won't know and you're not going to want to advertise it or tell anybody, but people won't know, so they'll think you're still and they'll ask you, "Oh, how have you been feeling? Have you been getting sick? This and that." And then you have to break the news to them, and that's always awkward and uncomfortable. And for me, I had to tell some people that didn't know, and their faces just fell. And at this point, I was doing well with it. I was, still sad, still am now, but I was doing okay, and I needed to continue to hold on to that. But these people were devastated and heartbroken. And as much as I appreciated the fact that they were for me, I was like, I really don't need this right now. I don't need them to be feeling so bad for me when I need to look forward and move on. So that's something people might do. People might just kind of tiptoe around the subject, or they might talk about it too much. So, or they just might gush over you and be like, "I'm so sorry," blah blah blah. It's just really hard to gauge who's going to be in what way. I was fortunate to not have to talk about it very much, but at times when I had to, it's like, okay, here we go. But I'm doing a lot better now, so it's not as difficult. It'll always hurt, but it will get a little easier. Just like when you lose somebody else in your life, it's going to be very painful for a very long time, but it'll get a little easier to think about them, talk about them. I believe this is a little more difficult though, because of the fact that you didn't get to meet this person, so therefore you don't have memories with them. You don't have good times to think about them. You don't have things that can make you smile in moments, because you never got to experience them and you never got to be with them. So it's okay to feel frustrated and angry and sad if you notice that difference. It's also okay to be angry. It's okay to let yourself cry. It's okay to feel sorry for yourself. It's okay to just feel dead, not inside, not really dead inside, but just feel numb and just go through your day just just not knowing what to feel at all, or just feeling heavy. It's okay to let yourself feel these things, and I learned that because if I didn't, then I'd not be denying what happened, and then I'd just crash one day or just get really depressed. I think it's okay to do all these things as long as you not stay in them for like a year or two. You know, give it a few months before you start to come around. Um, I think for me, I probably have come around a little more easily because the physical aspect of it itself was not as terrible as some other women, and so therefore I didn't have to go through such a horrific experience. It was bad as it was for me, and it hurt a lot, but it wasn't as bad as it could be. I have friends who've gone through worse. So I'm very grateful that I didn't have to have a really bad one. So I think that's what helped me a little bit more, but the emotional side is still very gripping, and it's just something that you got to deal with. So it's good to have a great support system. If you don't have a support system, please find one. I didn't want to, honestly, I didn't want to sit around with a group of other women who've gone through this and sit around and talk about it. That wasn't something I wanted to do. I wanted to deal with it with my own small support system and myself. That was my choice. That's how I wanted to do it. If that's your thing, then that's awesome. Maybe you should do that, especially if you don't have a support system around you of family and friends. That's something that maybe you could seek, and you could find friends and new family to help you through this. Just, even if you don't want to talk about it, please just find at least one person who could be there for you, even if you don't want to say the words. If you just want to lay your head on them and cry, if you just want them to be with you and cheer you up, or just be with you in the same room and just say nothing, or distract you and find fun things to do to make you feel better. Just find that one person to do that for you, someone who's loving and supportive, and that will really help you come around as well. My husband has been incredible, and I'm so grateful to him that he has been that person for me. And at times, it made him feel very helpless, and he was really upset because he didn't know what to do for me, and he hated to see me so sad. And it broke my heart that I was doing that to him, and I even started to feel guilty, you know? All these emotions come out from this thing because I knew that he was hurting as well. So it's really hard to let yourself be a certain way and let yourself grieve, and yet have other people feeling really bad for you, and then you feel bad because you're making them feel bad. But we didn't argue and fight about that. He just loved me so much that he didn't know what to do. But this is good for your partner or your friends. If this is a message for you, if you are having a hard time dealing with the emotions of your friend or partner who has gone through a miscarriage, then you need to find somebody to talk to, or just find something to do, or maybe just say, I need some time and I'll be back to help you as soon as I can, because my husband had a friend that he was able to call and talk to, and that really helped him. So that's a good thing. Everybody take care of yourselves and take care of each other, because this is a very sensitive time of life when this event happens. So please just find a loving, caring person who's willing to help you out. And when you need the time alone, take it. When you need distractions, go for them, but don't put yourself so much into them that you're completely denying what happened. Accept it, let yourself feel, and then hopefully it will get easier and easier, and you can start to move on and look forward to life and other things. So, lastly, I just want to say, I'm hoping one day, God willing, that my husband and I will be blessed with another chance to have a child. Um, we're leaving it up to God's will to see what happens. And I just know from this experience that the 14 weeks of being pregnant after that's kind of a, like, you cross the line and it's kind of safety zone. I mean, things could still happen, but it's like you're pretty much going to carry through, hopefully. And so if I do get pregnant again, I'm not going to tell anybody until it gets closer to that time, or when I get past, and I know that everything's going to be okay, because I just can't go through this again, honestly. I can't go through disappointing people again, or having to tell them again, because everybody was so happy for me when I told them, and then after having to, you know, have those happy moments and then having to have a sad moment, it was just emotionally draining, and I just cannot do that again. So that's what I'm going to do if it happens again. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about my experience, or comments that you want to leave about your own, or if you just need somebody to talk to, please feel free to message me or leave me a comment below, and I would love to chat. It's not an easy thing to go through alone, so please don't, if you have the opportunity, not to. And if you are alone and you need a friend, I would like to help you if I can in any way, or pray for you, or whatever. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you feel better, and just find something every day that makes you smile. Thank you. Later.